Future of the market. Should you be optimistic about investing next year, given the back of the stock market run that we've had this year? And how will financial regulation change impact your money? Joining us now is Raymond James Financial Chairman and CEO Tom James, who's in New York to, by the way, collect an award from the Business Committee on the Arts. So congratulations on the award, by the way. It's good to see people supporting the arts from the business community, so thank you for that, Tom.
Thank you, Brian.
Tim Geithner today will be testifying on financial reform regulation. What do you think should happen? What's the best case for Raymond James?
Well, I had the good fortune of serving as chairman of the Financial Services Roundtable in 2007, and we indeed were working on re-regulation of the financial system before we had any of these problems. And so I've spent a lot of time working on this issue before. And what I would tell you, the key thing is that we have one overarching safety and soundness regulator that can handle these complex institutions that are involved in many different businesses and actually regulated by many separate regulators. And you really don't understand the totality of the risk of that complex organization without someone looking at the holistic picture.
But Americans look to the Fed. They look to the SEC. Sometimes they might look to the Commodity Futures Trading Corporation or Commission. But why aren't those agencies doing enough?
Well, part of it is the way their mission is described. There's too much focus on enforcement and not enough focus on consumer protection and actual system development to meet the needs of change in the financial markets. Very little of the resources, for example, of the SEC were ever dedicated prior to Mary's arrival here to new product introduction, which she is now spending a good amount of time on. And I think it's extremely important that we reinforce a multiple mission on the part of our regulators, and that we give them the resources, the human resources particularly, that are capable of understanding derivatives, understanding new systems, new products, and working with industry to prepare the systems to deal with all these new challenges.
Is that even possible, though, Tom? If you're an expert in credit default swaps, you're not going to go work for the government at $75,000 a year. You're going to try your hand on Wall Street or with a hedge fund. Can they really get the people that can understand it as well with what's likely going to be a major pay discount to what they could make in the private sector?
Well, we actually have academics that work for far less than those on Wall Street. And we also have ex-Wall Streeters who certainly understand a lot of this, who are willing to give back in government service. So I think I'd be more positive than that in my outlook for what kind of people, and I think the SEC's recent hires demonstrate that. The other comment I would make, because I think you were hitting on a good point, is that I would really have the SEC and CFTC merged because they're regulating related securities. I would have the OCC and the OTS merge, because today's demands on our banking system really require a relook at how we organize the institutions that we have. They're already insured by the same organization, and I think it would be important that we do that.
Well, many Americans are arguably frustrated by what they perceive as a giant growth in government the last few years, not just this administration, but even under the Bush administration. Tell them why we should put our faith in yet another government agency that somehow this time will really get it and do the job.
Well, I'm not in favor of the Consumer Protection Agency. As I said, I really think it's important that we just empower the existing agencies and, in fact, merge a couple. I do really think that they've been understaffed with the quality people that they need to do this job and have large enough budgets. This world has gotten so complex so fast in financial instruments that it's very difficult for them to keep up. We still have regulation that runs from state regulation to federal regulation. If you look at the insurance industry, we clearly could use a national regulator in insurance so that we could get new products out in all states at the same time, register our salespeople in all states.
Yep.
These were all programs that we recommended in 2007 to the Treasury, and which the Treasury adopted to a large degree. Yep. In some of their recommendations as a result of this crisis.
On the markets quickly, the Dow is up, what, 60% from its March lows, give or take. You just heard the story, the average 401k account up 28% in the last 6 months. What's going to happen next year? Well,
you know, I hesitate to, my crystal ball is always a little cloudy when I try to call exact timing.
But at least you have one. We don't even have one. So look into your cloudy crystal ball for us.
Well, basically I would tell you that we're on the good side of things going forward, and I expect the economy in fits and starts to get better. Therefore, I would say the market will generally track up, but after a 60% move, as you point out, history would indicate to us that we would have some corrections. Yes. In the market. And I advise my clients to be careful, but still to have investments in equities.
Do you think a correction is coming?
I would be surprised if we didn't have one. I've been surprised already, I have to tell you, because we've had such a large move. I don't expect to test the lows, however. So I actually think the 10-year's a lot better, and as we start getting unemployment down in 3 to 6 months, I think we'll see the economic indicators begin to improve and support a broader-based economic recovery.
Are you set to fly back to Tampa today?
No.
Do you think you're flying to Tampa today, Tom?
I didn't know we had this problem until I heard the news this morning, but I'm planning to go back tomorrow, and hopefully they've got it fixed by then. But I've got that award ceremony you mentioned tonight. So
okay, congratulations on that, and thanks so much for joining us, Tom.
Real pleasure to be with you,
Raymond James. Appreciate it, and good luck getting home.